All right, Greg is continuing hard mode, and this time Greg is now a good player. Let's give Greg a round of applause. No one? All right, back to it. On the last video, Greg and Yellowking defeated the Calamita's clone, and Greg got the regenerator. It's basically an accessory that cuts your HP in half, but regens your health 7.5 per second. On top of that, all regeneration buffs are converted into damage. Basically, Greg has become a glass cannon. His build is centered right now for half HP buffs and rogue, so Greg will now hit big strong. Greg tested it out on Calamita's clone again and is really doing a great job. Well, until he used his signature ability, Greg needs to grow out of that habit. But it really shows that it works for Greg. I can't even make an intro meme animation for this boss fight since he died really fast. But we can make an intro on our next boss on the list. Just another Greg special boss killing technique. Anyways, Greg tried to make the Ankh shield. He grinded a whole 30 minutes in the jungle to farm the Bezoar. But Greg sees that he needs more materials to craft the Ankh shield, but Greg, as he is going blind, trying to craft an advanced item will be time consuming. But instead of Greg wasting more of his time, Yellowking is like, fine, I'll do it myself, and crafts not one Ankh shield, but two. Pretty much shows that Yellowking has more knowledge of the game than Greg. But then Greg sees the Ankh shield. It's kinda mid for his build, already having the regenerator and being a glass cannon build. Ankh shield is not needed. So much for those hard work, and he didn't even use it. But there is still an upside to scrolling on the crafting list because Greg found a really good weapon for his spammy nature, and he tested out on the Eater of Worlds. Good to see you, old friend. I hope being the punching bag won't anger any other worm-like boss, like the last time. The new weapon is really good, spammy and homing too. Well, after draining Eater of Worlds loot again, Greg goes to the bandit to see if she has new stock, and she does. A weapon and gloves. There are 2 gloves for rogue. The stealth one or the spam one. Guess which one Greg chose. That's right, the stealth one. Anyways, Greg sold the loot from Eater of Worlds and buys more combination potions. And into the piggy bank it goes, time to test out the new weapon from the bandit. It sucks. We will be keeping the spammy homing one. Yellowking wants Greg to build more housing space for the NPCs. So Greg gathers materials and goes down underground just below the other base in the snow he built. He clears out an area for the build he will create. And here is super fast build mode incoming. You will never guess the inspiration of why Greg built this abomination. Did you guess? Alright, Greg's inspiration for this abomination is the housing market crisis, where everything is the same, simple and hard to live in. Or just a lame excuse to build a shitty house. Pick your poison. Anyways, the building is completed, a job well done. Greg now farms for orichalcum, which spawned when Greg and Yellowking killed Plantera. Greg quickly finished that and goes down to the abyss. I don't know why exactly. But Greg fought a colossal squid and died. And when respawning, many NPCs died. Those tentacles really got stuck onto Greg, huh? Anyways, Greg found a new goal in mind, an accessory called Vampiric Talisman. Here are its stats. A really must-have for Greg if he wants to change his build in the future. He really needs this. And to get the Vampiric Talisman, he only needs one more material left, the Broken Batwing. And you might think Greg knows how to get the Broken Batwing. Yeah, he drinks a Zerg potion and goes down underground farming for bats. Even going to the jungle for more bat spawn rate, he wasted a total of 1 hour farming for the Broken Batwing, only realizing it doesn't drop from bats, but from vampires. Who would have thought that a Vampiric Talisman has a material requirement that involves vampires? Greg sure doesn't. Well, those things can wait because it's time to check off another boss on the list.
Wow. Careful, men! These here are sirens. They will conjure themselves into any lustful form in order to lure you into the water.
Why does that one look like me?
Oh. I don't know. That could be for anyone here. And we don't have to judge. Let's just avert our eyes to, wait, why is that one just a plate of pasta?
Let me go to her! No! Please!
No!
Let me go to her, Captain!
No!
Back to more commentary. I am fighting Anahita alone. Yellowking in this fight is AFK. He died when Leviathan spawned, so his summons are not in the fight anymore. Maybe he got a bit too relaxed after Greg is powered up. I don't know. So Greg is fighting Anahita solo. He is doing great on the fight until, he died. The boss didn't despawn because Yellowking is still alive, so Greg can respawn. But with Yellowking still at spawn, so many NPCs died. Greg tried to get away from spawn. He forgets he has a conch he can use to teleport, so he dies again. After respawning, with more NPCs dying, Greg uses the conch this time to teleport to the beach to continue the fight there, this time chipping away Anahita's health, dodging most of their attacks while regenerating. So close, Greg had the Rod of Discord to teleport, but it still isn't in his muscle memory to do so. After respawning again, Greg returns back to the ocean and resumes the fight, this time not failing to secure the kill. Greg got a really cool weapon from Anahita. It's a rogue weapon, so he can use it, but it isn't homing, so he might not use it. Well, it's still good to test it out. Greg tested the weapon out on Hardmode Blood Moon, thinking the Hardmode Blood Moon is where vampires spawn. Oh yeah, we are continuing the quest to get the Vampiric Talisman. Greg spends a full 10 minutes farming, then realizing vampires doesn't spawn on Blood Moon. Then Yellowking tells Greg vampires spawns on the Eclipse. It's same but different. Yellowking invited Greg to farm Anahita for more loot, specifically the item called the Community. It's a really powerful item. Basically every boss defeated on the boss list will power up the Community. So the more bosses you defeat, the stronger the Community gets. So its potential to be a core item early on is a must to get, so they farm it. But it is said to be rare. It might take multiple tries, and Greg got it in just 2 attempts. Crazy how Noob lucks work. Almost forgot there is Solon. Let's continue Solon's quest, shall we? Previously, we placed Solon's flag and have Solon set camp on a floating island. We fixed Solon's telescope, then Greg and Solon goes stargazing and found a mysterious rift in the sky, making Solon worry about the future of the world, somewhere around those lines. Then we showed Solon a key given to us by Cryogen, or the guy that spawned from Cryogen. Either way, Solon gave us a location on the map, possibly linking to that key. So we go to the location where Solon marked on our map. Solon is already waiting on us, and then we opened the sealed door. follow Solon to a mysterious crystal. It's a seed, Solon said. The seed has an incredible magic potential and wants us to keep it for now. I don't know what for, but for the endgame, I suppose. Anyways, Solon takes off, leaving the seed with us. Alright, no more time wasting, let's go focus on the broken Batwing. First thing to do is get the jungle key for the temple, and instead of finding the temple, we just buy a potion and teleport at the start. And we're already at the core of the temple. Alright, that works. This place is littered with traps, so Greg got to be careful. We got the tablet, there is no point staying here. Before starting the solar eclipse, Yellowking shows Greg the Shimmer, a pretty cool thing that converts items to different items. Anyways, Greg starts the solar eclipse. Greg farmed about 5 minutes and got the broken Batwing. Now, with the regenerator and the lifesteal from the vampiric talisman, Greg's health, even if it's on half, will regenerate fast and will deal significantly more damage. Greg tested his skill out on the monsters from the abyss. It didn't end well. Greg is scrolling more on the crafting list and found this new weapon. It has a really big base power, so Greg might as well test it out. It's a short-range weapon. I think it might only work on predictable bosses. So let's test it out on this boss.
He even came with his chains and his crown, King of the Rings!
Greg really got stomped dead in his tracks. Get it? Stomped. Stopped. Alright, nothing much happened after Astrum Aureus, so we go straight to Gollum. What just happened there? Greg just used the Rod of Discord and Gollum went away. This is BS. Gollum retreated at 1 HP. Unbelievable. We retried Golem. This time, Golem is at 1 HP again, but he got frozen in time and now unkillable. We restart the game because Golem is stuck forever. This game is bugged sometimes. So we retried Golem again, this time killing him, but not after Golem kills Greg at the end. Just look at how much effort Gollum is making to rage bait Greg. Gollum didn't die on 1 HP, twice. He even killed Greg just before he got killed at the end. Crazy. Anyways, Greg changed his build to ready up on Moonlord soon. Goodbye Regenerator. So the next goal in mind is to begin post-Moonlord. But to get to Moonlord, we need to defeat the cultist first. Ooh, so close, just as I was about to say, that Greg got over the habit of dying before the boss died. I mean, who wouldn't die to the big-ass laser? Wait, the cultist survives, and on 1 HP, Greg can now respawn in time. Yeah, Greg survived to see the cultist die. Well, that's something. After defeating the cultist, Greg can now do some upgrades. First, he crafted the Ancient Manipulator so he can craft Meld Construct. Then, he crafted the Dark Matter Sheath with the Meld Construct. Greg also found this new weapon from the Meld Construct material. I wonder what this thing does. I hope this isn't overkill. Anyways, the lunar event starts, which means there is only 4 pillars left to end hard mode. Yellowking suggested Greg go to a different dimension to defeat Argus. The bereft vassal, one of the bosses Greg, can still fight equally. But an unexpected thing occurred when going to the portal leading to the desert dimension. It said backing up player files, and yeah, Greg did get to the dimension, but Greg got cold feet thinking of fighting a boss alone, so he went back. But when returning, this happened. Greg is stuck on the sky, trapped, and can never teleport out or use a recall potion to get home. The only way is to rejoin the server, but when rejoining, the world progress on Greg's character seems to have been reset to that world. But that doesn't seem to bother Greg that much, and Yellowking wants Greg's help to farm for his harem again, for the desert element. This time, cranking the mob spawn rate to overdrive. Look at all this mobs flying. With this, Yellowking got what he needs on the desert. Up next is On the Sky for this fine-looking lady, but when farming for the item, someone joined our farming. Yeah, it's a boss. I didn't know bosses help you out. Having a strong boss fight with you is pretty cool. The boss is called Stormweaver, a future boss we have to fight. But not today, because he's our friend. Anyways, Yellowking got his harem, and he wants to test it out on Frost Moon. They are good, alright, in more ways than one. Anyways, we stop the yapping, and we start the cracking of all the pillars and bring in Moonlord.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay calm.
everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
Wait.
Everybody calm down.
Alright, what the heck is happening? Where is Moonlord? Yellowking thinks it must be a bug on Infernum multiplayer. There is no other thing left that could possibly explain this. Well, we don't have a choice but to reset Moonlord since he's not here anymore. Bad news, guys. I didn't record the refight of Moonlord, but here's the rematch again after that. I know Greg got a new weapon, but it doesn't make a difference anyway. We are fighting him on death mode. It's not as hard as Infernum, but it's still hard. Well, there you have it, guys. Hard mode completed. I have the recordings of 2 additional boss, but this video is long enough, so I'll make a short boss video for those 2. Anyways, peace.